4, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at 6 in high definition.
Lawmakers question South Carolina's top health officials to find out if the state can handle a case of Ebola. Good evening. Welcome. I'm Michael Cogdell.
And I'm Gabrielle Komorowski, and tonight for Carol. So far, there are no cases of Ebola in South Carolina, but we've learned that the state is ready to handle any that may come up.
WYFF News 4's Mike McCormick is live for us tonight from Columbia. And Mike, senators called a special meeting to talk about this today, right?
Yeah, that's right, Michael and Gabby. In fact, it lasted about an hour, and senators learned that DHEC has actually been working on a plan now for months.
I've had some constituents call with some questions.
Senators on the Medical Affairs Committee took Ebola-related questions directly to the director of the Department of Health and Environmental Control.
This will be all hands on deck.
DHEC's Catherine Templeton says there are 3 steps to handling a potential case of the disease.
Identify, isolate, communicate. Everyone needs to identify the symptoms. If suspected, isolate the patient, and then call us.
She told the senators that all hospitals in the state are prepared.
Every single hospital in this state is capable, on alert, and has identified where they would isolate a patient with suspected Ebola.
Hospitals would then decide whether it's safer to keep a patient there or make a transfer. Templeton told the senators that the state does have the manpower to track down everyone who's had contact with a patient suspected of having Ebola, and the safety plan even affects the port of Charleston, which does get ships with ports of call in the Ebola-stricken nations. DHEC would be notified if one of those ships comes in.
It has not been classified as a terrorist situation or terrorist incident.
Templeton did say she'd like a way to streamline Ebola-related communication and that legislation would be needed to require people to sign up for it.
It could be done more efficiently.
DHEC's director says you should visit the agency's website if you have any questions about Ebola, and if you don't find the answers you're looking for there, you should call. Mike McCormick, WYFF News 4, live tonight in Columbia.
Mike, thank you. And North Carolina is also preparing for Ebola. State health officials there say they've been working with public health partners and healthcare providers since July. Officials are actively monitoring for cases using a variety of methods.
Well, same-sex marriage is definitely a much-discussed topic today. Late this morning, the South Carolina State Supreme Court ordered probate courts not to issue same-sex marriage licenses. The court says federal judge has yet to decide whether the state's constitutional ban is legal. This comes a day after Charleston began accepting applications for marriage licenses from gay couples. That happened because a federal appeals court overturned Virginia's ban on same-sex marriage. That court does have jurisdiction over South Carolina. Now, there is a case right now before a federal judge from a couple who were married in Washington, D.C. and want it recognized in South Carolina. Now, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson released this statement today, quoting here, "Today's action by the state Supreme Court upholds the rule of law in South Carolina. Based on the court's decision, I will continue to fulfill my oath as chief legal officer to defend the laws and Constitution of South Carolina until this issue is resolved by the federal courts," close quote. Now, same-sex couples in North Carolina are waiting for federal court rulings as well, and Republicans there appear to be making some last-minute moves trying to block or delay gay marriage. Chief U.S. District Judge William Olstein, Jr. Appears poised to strike down the ban after issuing an order on Wednesday, lifting his stays and dismissing all motions in the cases. And then this afternoon, we learned that West Virginia's Attorney General decided he would no longer defend the state's ban, potentially clearing the way for gay couples to marry there.
And here in the S-State, some same-sex couples say they are ready to say I do. WYFF News 4's Mandy Gaither has more from Greenville County.
On the website, the Greenville County probate judge says the debate on same-sex marriage is being closely monitored and that the law will be followed.
When the Taylors decided nearly 4 years ago to devote their lives to one another, they had to leave South Carolina and go to Massachusetts. Now, Gray and Crystal are hoping their union will be recognized here.
It's not going to do anything different for us inside, but what it's going to do is it's going to take us from being invisible to recognized. Because right now, we have that bond, we have that certificate, but nobody sees it. And it's just like they're going to be able to see us now.
Yeah. We'll be really proud.
The two have custody of Crystal's 4 children and say their marriage is just like anyone else's. Like other same-sex couples, they're anxiously awaiting to find out what happens with the rulings. The Taylors don't feel discouraged by the state Supreme Court today telling South Carolina probate judges not to issue marriage licenses for now.
I just feel like it's just going to slow down a little bit, but I feel like this is a snowball that we can't stop anymore, which is great.
The Taylors say if gay marriage is legalized in the state, they want that certificate with the words South Carolina on it.
Now, the Taylors say they'll also need to talk to their attorney on how a South Carolina marriage would affect their marriage in Massachusetts. Mandy Gaither, WYFF News 4 in Granville County.
And so maybe you're wondering, what are people around the states and around the world saying about the same-sex marriage bans and all that's going on? Well, WYFF News 4's Nigel Robertson stopped by the Clemson University Social Media Listening Center today to hear the world's reaction.
The issue of same-sex marriage continues to heat up across the state of South Carolina, and of course, it is heating up online as well. When we plug these words into the Social Media Listening Center lab at Clemson University, you could see people all over the country talking about the South Carolina Supreme Court banning gay marriage as of today. Take a look. Look at this negative sentiment. 83% of people talking about this in a negative way.
We found that a lot of that was people who were overwhelmingly upset at the ban that still exists in South Carolina.
These are people from all over.
Yes, the entire world is talking about us. When we once again dig deeper into the software, we see Twitter handles and Twitter accounts that are associated to California, to Virginia, even down to Florida. Like, the entire world is talking about South Carolina right now.
Our cameras were there Wednesday when 3 same-sex couples tried to get a marriage license in Greenville County. All 3 were denied by the probate judge, who said until the law is changed, her hands are tied. Nigel Robertson, WYFF News 4.
Turning now to North Carolina's U.S. Senate race, those running for the office will debate again tonight. The debate will be at 7 in Wilmington. Democratic Senator Kay Hagan, Republican Thom Tillis, and Libertarian Sean Haw will all participate in the hour-long debate. We will bring you the highlights coming up tonight on WYFF News 4 at 11.